Promote AhsayCBS Replication to Backup Server role. CBS replication can be configured in any number of configurations. In this video, we will cover only instances where it is a CBS to CBS replication with a destination storage of AhsayCBS. If you have multiple CBS backup servers replicating to a single replication receiver, this video is not for you. If you have NAS or SAN, you may need additional steps not covered by this video. When you have replication configured and enabled between two CBS servers, you can quickly spin up your replication server to become the backup server. This video will demonstrate how to do that. CBS to CBS replication will replicate the configs, your system home, and then the CBS user home. In this demo, in the event of disaster of your primary AhsayCBS backup server, we'll show you how to quickly convert your AhsayCBS replication receiver to become the backup server. Prerequisites. You will need your DNS admin available so that they can change the DNS record to point your fully qualified domain name, FQDN, to the replication receiver's host IP address. Both the backup server and the replication receiver server should be running identical CBS versions and hotfixes. It is good practice that whenever you upgrade or patch your backup server, you also do that onto your replication receiver host. Before continuing, we are assuming your primary CBS backup server is totally offline due to disaster. We are also assuming that your Ahsay replication server is receiving from only one backup server. We are also assuming that your replication server is not running a lower CBS version than your backup server. In other words, your versions between backup server and replication receiver server should be the same CBS versions. And lastly, your platforms, whether it's Windows or Linux, between the two servers should be the same, Windows to Windows or Linux to Linux. We do not support converting your replication server to be the backup server if you are running different platform operating systems. As a note, if you are branded, substitute the default paths presented in this demo with that of your custom path and service name. AhsayCBS replication storage will contain near real-time data. However, if the backup server has much data to replay or resync at time of disaster, it is possible that the replication server will not contain 100% of your latest data. There may be some data loss once you complete the conversion. CBS replication can be configured in any number of configurations. This video, we will cover only instances where it is a one-to-one CBS to CBS replication. You can reference the AhsayCBS Administrator's Guide for other recovery methods or the other ways you could set up replication. As an overall high-level summary, these are the procedures that we will cover. For your benefit, if you understand these fundamentals, the rest of the video should be easier to understand. So first, stop the CBS service on the replication receiver host. Then, swap out the replication's host, conf, and system directories with that from the replicated backup server. Update your DNS. Start the CBS service on the replication server. Now it is the backup server. And lastly, update the user home path to match that is found on this new host. Users can now reconnect to the new backup server. Before we jump into the procedures, I will just show you my desktop. The red background VM is my backup server. CBS is currently running. The upper logo is AhsayCBS Backup Server. The green background is my replication receiver server. The upper left-hand corner, the CBS logo is AhsayCBS Replication. The FQDNs that I have is replication.ahsay.demo. My backup server is backup.ahsay.demo. And again, look at the upper left-hand corner for the CBS logo. It will tell you which server this is on. So right now, this is backup server. And if I switch tabs, this is the AhsayCBS Replication Server. Replication.ahsay.demo is the FQDN. So I'm going to close these tabs out and just leave one tab open. But for now, I'll use the localhost IP address 127.0.0.1. Switching back to my backup server VM, I'm going to stop the CBS service to mimic a disaster of my backup server. I will need to spin up my replication server to become the backup server, and this is what this demo will go through. As proof, if I go to the backup.ahsay.demo, the page will not load. Step 1. Log into the replication receiver CBS web console. Step 2. From the CBS menu, go to Replication, Accepting Data, and then select your receiver. Which I only have one login name, receiver account. This receiver is enabled. Step 3. We will need to identify two things, the default home directory and the replication home. Scroll down and locate the default home directory path. So here I'm highlighting the default directory path. You want to remember what this is. And if it's too hard to remember, what you can do as a tip is open up your notepad and then paste it in so you have a quick reference. And then also do the same for replication home. Now I only have one user home directory from my backup server. If you have more than one user home, you might have more than one entry here. But in my case, I only have one line. So I need to copy the replication home path, and that's in the grayed out area. So either remember these two paths or make a note of it in your notepad. And since this demo is recorded for Windows, there'll be some examples of the default directory path. The very first one will be for Windows. The second example will be for Linux. Step 4. On the replication receiver server, stop the CBS service. Step 5. From the Windows file system, navigate to the CBS installation directory, also known as the CBS Home. For Windows, this will be C program files AhsayCBS. For Linux, if you follow the standard procedures for installing CBS, it will be /user/local/CBS. If you did not use the default path, substitute these examples with your correct path for your setup. Step 6. Rename these directories, the conf, the system, and the logs. This preserves the old replication receiver setup in case you ever have to revert this host back to become your replication receiver. For this demo, the naming convention, it will be a period RPS for both conf and system. And logs, we will just rename that as well. Step 7. We are now going to prep the replicated conf from the backup server. You will need to unzip the replicated configuration. For A, you will go to the default home directory, which was known from an earlier step, to locate the conf.zip package. Now remember, we just renamed that system directory to system.rps. So for example, for Windows, C program files /AhsayCBS/system.rps/rps/rcvs home/receiver account/app/conf/conf.zip. For B, we will unzip the contents of that conf.zip into our CBS home directory and create a new conf directory. I right-click on the zip, I select extract here. Once that conf directory is created, I will cut it, and then I will paste it into my CBS home directory. Step 8. We will now prep the replicated system home from the backup server. We will replace this host with the replicated system home. Go into your default home directory. Go into the app directory /system. From here, we will move the contents of your system home directory into your CBS home path. Going into default home directory, I look for app, and then I look for the system directory. Copy out the system directory and then paste it into your system home. Step 9. We will prep the replicated CBS user home. Earlier, you documented your replication home path. This will become your user home path on this host. Depending on how you had configured it originally, you might not have to modify your CBS configuration. For this demo, we will assume that the path specified in replication home is different than your original backup server user home path. A. From the file system, navigate to the replication home directory, and for each path, delete any subdirectory having the following format: year, month, day, hour, timestamp. For C, before continuing, this is optional. You can manually relocate those replication home user path to a new user home path, or rename the top level directory before you start up your CBS service. So for example, if my replication home is x:/receiver home, but I want my user home path to be x:/new user home, I can rename that at this time. So from the file system, I'm going to x:/receiver home. I'm locating those two timestamp directories. And instead of deleting them, I'm actually going to move them into a separate directory. Highlight, right click, cut, go up a level, create a new directory, and then paste it in. These timestamp directories are actually the replication snapshots. As you can see as I traverse through those subdirectories. And lastly, I'm going to rename the receiver home to be new user home directory. Step 10. Start up your CBS service. Note that the CBS server, the logs directory, will be recreated as new. Renaming the logs directory was optional, but in this case, since we're starting this up as a backup server from this point on, it's best to start up the logs from a new point. Step 11. This is where you involve your DNS admin. You'll want to point the FQDN, fully qualified domain name, of your CBS backup server URL to this host's IP address. This allows seamless reconnection from the client devices. Alternatively, you could change the IP address of the replication host. Because I'm running a closed lab environment, I'm using local host file instead of a DNS. So I'm just going to modify my host file. I'm going to add a new entry for my 127.0.0.1. backup.ahsay.demo. In the real world, for production, you do not want to do this via localhost file. You want to make sure you involve your DNS and make the changes there. And for demonstration, I'm going to open up my command prompt and do a ping on backup.ahsay.demo to show you that it's resolving to my loopback 127.0.0.1 IP address. Step 12. Wait until the CBS login page is available, then log in with your admin credentials. As you can see, the CBS loaded. In the upper left-hand corner, the AhsayCBS backup server logo is shown, and I'm on 127.0.0.1. And then I'm just going to open up a new browser window. To prevent anything that was cached, I'm just going to open it up in private viewing session, backup.ahsay.demo, and then I will also see that the logo is the same as well, backup server. So now your former replication host has been converted to become the backup server host. And then DNS has been changed, so then the clients can start connecting, but we need to update a few things. First, we'll need to check on your CBS license for step 13. We'll click on update. Step 14, since we no longer have a replication receiver server, we need to stop the sending. So from the main menu, go to replication, sending data, toggle it off. Step 15, from the earlier step, it was mentioned that the replication home path is not the same as the original user home path. So if necessary, we need to update our CBS configuration to change the user home path. So from the CBS main menu, go to Backup Restore, Basic, User Home, then modify the path to point to the new location. So in our case, we are changing it from c:/program file/AhsayCBS/user to be x:/new user home. That's the new directory on this machine. Now with some pre-planning when you first set up replication, some of this could have been avoided. You could have had x:/user home as the receiver home, thus avoiding this step. We actually need to do one more step. Go into users, groups, and policies, and you'll get an error message that the user home for several users are not found. Since we just changed the user home path, we need to do a rescan. So we're going to click OK on this pop-up message. And in the gray little icons, the very last one, we're going to click on rescan all user home. Following the mouse cursor, this is where the icon is located. Click on that. And then once that is done, we can go ahead and check on the users to verify that the user home directory is set correctly. And here we are, it is. And we'll just go ahead and check the other two accounts. And again, as a reminder, step 16, if you are branded, you should rebuild your clients to ensure the correct branding are on this new host server. Before we wrap up, I'm just going to open up OBM on this machine since it's already installed. I'm going to configure it to communicate with the backup server, which is basically the same as this server at this moment, https backup.ahsay.demo, and then I will log in with one of my backup user accounts. My backup sets appear, and then let's go ahead and run a backup job. And then we'll jump back to the CBS live activities. We'll do a refresh, and then we can see that the job is running. If you're not using replication right now, but you want to, contact Ahsay Sales for pricing details and purchasing questions. Go to www.ahsay.com, navigate down to the pricing, click on it, and then you can contact Ahsay Sales. If you are an Ahsay partner, you can go to www.ahsay.com/partners for partner exclusives. If you need to download Ahsay V8, go to www.ahsay.com, go to download, and then you can download the version 8 software. If you're looking for documentation guides, www.ahsay.com, go to download, and then you'll find administrator and user guides. We hope that this video serves your purpose. Thank you again.